Welcome back, everybody. This is another episode of the Asheville Real Estate News Podcast. This is Rodrigo, and going to be a little bit of an extended intro today, just to let you guys know about a couple of changes that are coming up. First change is that the episode you're going to hear today is going to be the first of a 10-part series that I'm going to be filming just as solo episodes about the first 100 days of being a real estate agent. So that's correct. I did get my license. And so during this series, I'm going to explore what the first 100 days of me having a license is. Do I like it? Do I hate it? Do I love it? Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? And just kind of share my journey on that. And so if you have any questions, let me know. If there's anything that you hear me talk about that doesn't make sense, also let me know. As you know, I've never had my license. I never thought I was going to have my license. So this journey is going to be an interesting one, and hope that you'll take the time to join in and give some feedback and, help me avoid some mistakes, hopefully. The second part of this, the intro for the podcast, is also letting everybody know that there's going to be a little bit of a format switch up, if you will, to some of the podcasts outside of this series for the next few months. We're going to, as you noticed, last week we had Nolan come on as a guest host, and we're going to have some more guest hosts over the next couple of months, probably between now and the end of January. And that's going to just be something we're going to try out. So if you've ever wanted to be on the podcast, if you have something you're really excited to talk about, reach out to us. We'd love to have a conversation and see if you want to do either a podcast episode with you interviewing somebody, or just a solo episode about a topic that you're passionate about. So let us know. Those are the two things I just want to share with you all real quick. And so without further ado, let's find out what happens in day one of me having my license. What's going on, everybody? Rodrigo here. So episode 1, I've been thinking a little bit about what to kind of call this series, and what I've come up with is the 10 by 10 by 100. So 10 episodes of 10 minutes each, give or take in length, recapping the first 100 days of me having my license. Honestly, it's going to end up being like 110 days. Got my license about a week and a half ago officially, and sitting down to record this video now. I thought it would be a lot more exciting for my first video, talking about what it was like being an agent, talking about maybe different people I'd talked to, conversations with, sellers or buyers or things like that. And honestly, so much of the first week and a half is just paying for things and signing up for things and jumping through more hoops. And that part's been a little, it caught me off guard. But yeah, so let's just pause there and let's go back and let me give you the reasoning or the thought process on my end for deciding to become an agent and why I felt it was the right choice. So as you all know, Asheville Real Estate News is just a passion project for myself and for Nolan, and for Asheville Cash Buyers, which is kind of, the bread and butter of what I do every day. Our motto there in regards to interacting with people is helping you take the next best step. And during this whole thing of COVID, like many people, it was time to just look at the business model, look at what was working, look at what wasn't working, and just see if there's any changes that needed to be made, or just, kind of look through the feedback in general and just try to keep making better decisions moving forward. As we were running numbers and just kind of looking at what, 2019 had looked like, what 2020 was shaping up to look like, realized that we'd only really been doing deals with less than half a percentage point of all the leads that we had generated. So that means if, we talked to 100 people, we weren't even buying one house necessarily or closing one deal, and realized that for all of the conversations that we had and all of our desire to really help people and to, put deals together, we were taking a lot of misses. And so after some conversations offline with a lot of people, and a lot of those people that I kind of leaned on to ask for their insight and their opinion on this decision have been on the podcast. If you remember back in August, we had a bunch of conversations online about what it looks like to be an agent and kind of teasing that whole idea out. And the reason for that, it was kind of selfish. We were just trying to figure out personally on my end, like, what does it take to be a good agent? What does that look like? Is it worth it? Is it for everybody? So a lot of those questions still have to be answered. Obviously, week one of being an agent, there's still a lot to learn and a lot I don't know, but pretty excited about hopefully adding another option to help people out if they're interested in selling. There's that proverbial saying, or as a motto, or a proverb, I guess, if you only have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Or if you try to solve every problem with a hammer, everything needs to be a nail. So we're trying to have more tools so that everything's not a nail, essentially. But yeah, so also doing that, I was talking to Nolan offline a little bit, and we came up with this idea. And so we're going to kind of just explore this. And today it's going to be about the insane amount of time and hoops, in my opinion, it takes that you have to jump through to become an agent. I was very surprised by this. So just from the timing standpoint, within the first 12 months of being an agent, from my math, and I could have missed things, you're spending somewhere in the neighborhood of about 170 hours of classroom time. Part of that includes your, pre-licensing, post-licensing, taking your test, and then doing other like educational courses that are part of, I signed up with the Hendersonville Board of Realtors, but so for that, for your MLS access, National Association of Realtors, etc. So there's a lot of different check marks that you have to check off to even get rolling after you've passed the test. And, it's kind of expensive. It surprised me how much money you have to outlay, how quickly to get validated and be an agent or have that title. So if you've never looked into this, and if you guys remember might have been a month ago, we had the podcast with John Cusera, and we talked about that briefly. He mentioned, people need to know that it's not just like show up to a class, check a box, and then you go out and start making money. There's a lot of things that have to happen before you start making money as an agent. And I don't know, call me naive or whatever. It is catching me by surprise. So you take your pre-licensing class, and that's $495. And that's a 75-hour class. And then after that, you have to take the test. Each test costs about $165. And it depends, however many tests you have to take. I had to take the test 3 times. So for me, it was 165 times 3. But if somebody takes it once, you're going to save a little bit of money if you study better. I should have studied more. And that test, I've talked to a couple of different people, and I think it's a fair average to say that that's a 2-hour test commitment in the classroom or at the testing center. And that doesn't take into account however many hours you choose to study. So that 170 hours that I mentioned earlier does not include study time, by the way. That is just documented classroom time. And then once you get your test, you get to take more classroom time. So you have to take 3 post-licensing classes. Each post-licensing class is 30 hours. And the classes I'm taking cost $249 a class. And you have to buy a $50 textbook. And then you get to pay for more things as you join whatever board of realtors you join, and you join the MLS, which the multiple listing service, so you can look at things, list things, etc. For my board of realtors, it was $300 for an application fee, and then I believe it's $575 a year after that, or on top of that, and still not very clear on how that dices itself out. So, and then you have to pay to be part of the National Association of Realtors, which was another $390. And I haven't gotten the invoice or the bill yet for the MLS fee, but that's coming. So without including the MLS fee, I'm at $2,723.50. And I still have not listed or sold a house yet as an agent. So yeah, it was a lot. I know that was probably a little bit of a laundry list, if you will, and might have been a little hard to follow. But I thought to start this on first 100 days of being an agent, honestly, first week has only been jumping through hoops to trying to get set up. My goal for the week, one of my goals for this week when we're filming this video, is to be totally set up and have everything out of the way except post-licensing. Although I'm finishing my first post-licensing class today, which is very exciting. So that's week one as an agent. Excited to get to week two or to the next 10 days and hopefully have more exciting things to talk about, like my first listing or something along those lines. So, I guess I should talk about where I'm hanging my license and why. So I decided to hang my license at the KW office, downtown Asheville. And I interviewed with a couple of different people. And ultimately, I don't think I could have made a wrong choice, at least with the people that I talked to. I think they would have all been really good options. But I ended up leaning on the company, at least to start with right now, that has a really strong technology background or infrastructure and also is very vested in training systems and things of that nature. So that's where I'm at. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned for the next 10 days. Of course, if you have any questions, let me know. If you have any suggestions, if I forgot something, if there's something that's coming around the corner that I might be surprised by, please help avoid this. Please let me know so I don't get surprised. But yeah, appreciate it, guys, for tuning in. Let me know if you think this series is worth it or not. And I'll talk to you guys in about another 10 days or so. Take care.